Deep within the heart of Samburu County in the northern part of Kenya lies a hidden gem known as Kirisia Forest, also known as Larogi Forest. Spanning over 91,452 hectares, this gazetted forest is home to a remarkable diversity of flora and fauna, some of which are classified as rare, threatened, or endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. But Kirisia Forest faces an uncertain future. Human activities such as illegal logging, charcoal burning, poaching, and overgrazing have taken their toll, posing a significant threat to the forest's environmental integrity. In response to this growing crisis, the local communities, who have long called this forest their home, took a courageous step. They voluntarily moved out of the forest, recognizing the urgent need to protect its precious resources. This marked the beginning of a remarkable journey towards finding alternative livelihoods, a journey that would shape the destiny of Kirisia Forest and its surrounding communities. Enter the East African Wildlife Society, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and other partners.
East African Wildlife Society signed a letter of agreement with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations here in Kenya to support the implementation of a JEF-funded project in Kirisia Forest within Samburu County. The objectives that East African Wildlife Society sought to address included: 1, strengthen selected value chains, and here we were focusing mainly on agroforestry, poultry, and also honey production. 2nd, to build the capacity of CFA, that is both organizational and entrepreneurial capacity of the CFAs and the user groups. And then thirdly, designation of Kirisia Forest as an important bird area.
Hii misitu yetu hapo awali miaka zilizopita watu walikuwa wanaishi na tulikuwa tumeharibu hii misitu yetu sana. Vile FAO walipoingia wali-engage many other partners apart from our East African wildlife. Mahali wametusaidia sana ni capacity building. Wametufundisha sana mambo na ufugaji kuku na pia utunzaji wa nyuki, na pia mambo na agroforestry walitufundisha na walituanzishia. Walituletea matunda ambaye ni avocado na mangoes, na pia tukaweza kupanda miti katika mashamba zetu kama community, na tuliona kwamba imetusaidia sana.
Benefit kwangu kwanza, unajua kama hii mamiti ya fruits ikimea, hii itakuwa income generating program yangu, na pia itakuwa matunda ambayo watu wanaweza kula na itasaidia, kwa sababu matunda inatakiwa mambo ya vitamin na mambo zingine mingi. Pia hii agroforestry singine iko na foda ambayo baadaye inaisailisha wanyama yangu. Ya pili ni sura mzuri kwa shamba. Sura mzuri itaanza kuonekana green na italeta hewa safi na hata mali mzuri ambayo watu wanasawamsika. Pia kwa community ni the same. Lakini sasa fenya naona kama hiyo yangu imemea na pengine wachache yao kuna wengi haijamea, maybe itakuwa exemplary. Waone kama kweli hii miti itamea.
Nimefurahia miti sana. Kwa sababu miti inaleta mvua. Miti ni uhai. Hata inasaidia sisi miti ya kujenga, hata ya kuwakisha kuni. Sasa nilionelea nikipata miti ya kupanda, siwezi enda tena msituni ile ya mbali.
Out of the agroforestry initiative, we were able to distribute 103,000 seedlings to over 1,000 beneficiaries spread across that particular landscape. We trained them, we provided them with the seedlings, but also we conducted a monitoring mission to determine how successful that mission was. And we were happy to note that despite the drought that had hit that particular landscape at the time when we were doing the distribution of the seedlings, we were still able to record an overall success rate of 62%. We have estimated that within the first harvest, the mangoes that were distributed, the household will be able to get on average between 4,000 to 8,000 Kenya shillings during the first harvest. And for the avocados, we also expect that the households that received avocados will be able to make between 12,000 Kenya shillings to 24,000 Kenya shillings in the first harvest. And this is expected to increase as they continue to harvest.
Hii mradi inasaidia watu kwa sababu wamefundisha watu vile watahifadhi msitu, vile watahifadhi mazingira. Kwa sababu sasa mtu akifuga nyuki haitakuwa tena kukata miti kwa sababu anajua mvua ikinyesha maua itatoka na atapata asali. Na haitakuwa tena kwenda kukata makaa. Wale wafugaji wa makaa sasa ndio tutapatia sasa msinga na tulifundisha, na hatakuwa tena kwenda kukata kuni. Watakuwa kupanda miti kwa sababu mtu anajua hii miti nikipanda nyuki atapata maua. Pia ng'ombe yake atapata nyasi.
Pia sisi kama CFA tumekuwa na changamoto ya kuuza asali zetu, pia ya kurefine, lakini East Africa Wildlife juzi walitukuja kutusaidia na tukaweza kushirikiana na our cooperative wa nyuki wa Samburu na tukaweza kufanya agreement ili tunapo harvest hiyo asali ambayo community watakuwa wana harvest, hawa wa cooperative wanaweza kununua straight na kuweza kurefine na kutafutia market.
We are also anticipating that out of the support that we gave for the beehives, those are 270 Langstroth beehives, we expect that they will be able to make cumulatively 4 million Kenya shillings in the first harvest of honey. We will be monitoring this even beyond the project period to make sure that we are able to actually establish the actual amounts that the communities are making.
As far as this project is concerned, the East Africa Wildlife Society, along with the home range poultry, have been in the ground in Samburu, in Kirisia Forest. And the main agenda for this project has largely been to focus on the communities that are living around the forest, to make sure that we build their capacity to develop alternative sources of income. That way, we are able to support the initiative to prevent them from exploitation of forest resources, through ensuring that these people have an extra source of income. Our primary focus has been indigenous kienyeji chicken, largely because of the climate aspect, because this is a chicken that is hardy, that does not require so much, and most importantly, it's actually a chicken that can be reared in a drought-resistant zone. Our approach to this project has been multi-faced, in the sense that we are not just focusing on the production bit, but we also heavily focused on the consumption and the marketing bit, because the issue with poultry a lot of times is usually not production, is people are able to produce the chicken but they are not able to offload it into the market and make money. So under this program we set up 3 poultry hubs which are based in various parts of Kirisia Forest. So all these groups will be operating as hubs, and they are not specifically just for that group, but that group will be providing additional services. So poultry hubs are basically a center where all the materials are available for now other groups to come in and be able to tap into it. The other angle that was also very critical during this project was for us to discuss and see how can we use poultry as not just an alternative source of income, but to alleviate all these tribal discords that are there, where we're having a lot of cattle rustling, because this is the thing that the groups were really clearly able to highlight, that no one actually comes to their compounds to steal their chicken. They only come to steal the other types of livestock. So if they are able to be supported to be able to increase their chicken, no one will actually come to take. And that actually creates issues with security addressed within the same project. I have no doubt at all that based on the approach that this project has been implemented through, that there's going to be sustainability, there's going to be a direct impact, not just through the direct beneficiaries who are the poultry groups that have been trained and supported with inputs, but also the surrounding community, which is actually going to be able to access nutritious chicken that is healthy. And because locally available materials have been used to produce their feed, this chicken is going to be affordable.
Tumeweza kufaidika sana, manake tumepata hii project ya kuku. Tumepata pia mafunzo ya kutosha. Pia sisi tukaweza kuwafundisha wengine, hasa jinsi ya kutengeneza pia chakula ya kuku, pia jinsi ya kuweka kuku ile ambayo iko na value ya juu. Pia tumeweza pia kujua madawa ya kuku, pia hata mambo na marketing. Kwa hivyo lengo letu kubwa kama kikundi ni kutengeneza pesa. Tutauzia mayai hapa jirani kwa market, na pia tutaweza kuuza vifaranga kwa the groups neighboring, na pia tutaweza pia kuuza chakula ya kuku.
So we had 3 hubs. That means cumulatively the 3 hubs will be able to make a net profit of 1 million plus during the first 12 months. From the day one that we gave them the chicks all the way to 12 months.
Pia East African Wildlife wametusaidia sana kwa upande ya mandege. Hii misitu yetu waligaseti ikakuwa ni IBA, so wamekuja wakatusaidia sana na mambo na registration ya IBA, na tutafaidika sana kwa sababu tutapata watalii ambayo watakuja kuona ndege zetu. Tutapata pia researchers ambayo watakuja katika misitu kuangalia mandege ambayo sisi tuko naye, na tunafurahia sana kwa sababu hiyo kitu itakuja kusaidia community in future.
The Kirisia Forest landscape is a very useful landscape to the people of Samburu because it provides them with water, with pasture, with forest and forest products. So the continued protection of this landscape is very critical for the future lives of the people in Samburu. It is important to know that traditionally the Samburu people have not done agroforestry, and this was their first initiative, and they are very excited about going forward with it so that into the future they are able to plant more trees on their farms. Our main objective is to ensure that the farmers are able to get whatever they go to look for in the forests within their farms. If it is fuel wood, they get it within their farms. If it is fruits, they get them within their farms. And they can also be able to sell these products to make some extra money. And we know that nationally we have a target of planting 15 billion trees by the year 2032. And this can only be achieved if we utilize the potential that we have in the drylands of this country. Because that's where we have got more land, that's where we have got more resources to be able to actually promote tree growing and fruit tree growing as alternative livelihoods for the people. So as we look forward into implementing the national aspiration, we have to sincerely have very critical programs looking at how do we improve tree planting in the arid and semi-arid lands of this country.
We have had evidence of natural regeneration continuing in the forest, especially in the areas where communities moved out of the forest. We also have pasture that has really drastically improved. Even looking at the prolonged drought that we have had for over 3 years, animals are still in the forest, having pasture and fodder to be able to consume in the forest. We have had even river recharging. Rivers that originate from Kirisia, we've recorded increased water flow from those rivers, and even for those ones that that have stopped flowing, the rivers now flow. We have even records of increased enrollment in these primary schools, because when children were in the forest, they were not attending schools. Even the health of the people, because they were not accessing health services, well, in the forest, now children and even lactating and pregnant mothers can access health services.
Our plea to our supporters and donors is to step in to be able to support East Africa Wildlife Society to continue upscaling this particular initiative so that Kirisia Forest will continue to thrive, and also the livelihoods of the communities will greatly improve. Bearing in mind that the communities used to live within Kirisia Forest, but they voluntarily moved out of the forest through the intervention under the J5 project. The only way we can sustain those gains is by putting more resources towards the community livelihood.